You too can make a flower sculpture using only what would normally be recycled steel tin cans, whatever you call them. Well, I tried driving the car around the block and I get just far enough away from home that it matters, and it pukes out and dies and can't get it running again, barely limp at home. And I can only assume that that's a fuel delivery problem because I can't make it happen at all in the yard, going up and down the driveway, driving around the yard, whatever. So I'm only using enough fuel driving down the road. Of course, I'm using a lot more fuel doing that than just driving around the yard. And I remember there's this silly tiny little fuel filter in this Rochester Varijet 2 carburetor. So I got a new filter and I take the old one out and something doesn't look right. So I double check with the book, and sure enough, somebody had installed the filter backwards. They had the end with the hole. Well, this is the end with the hole. They had the end with the hole facing inward. So I don't know how fuel getting in. Well, it must be pushing on the filter and pushing on that spring, and fuel is just barely squirting around the filter. So anyway, that filter was totally plugged, which means fuel must have been getting into it somehow. And I replaced that filter, go around the block, and I get even, a lot farther than I could before, but still puke out and die and have a similar problem. Well, this time I get out and look, and the choke is shut, which is not normal. Wonder if we got a page with a picture of the choke here. Well, there you go. Choke valve, and that's the choke, the electric choke unit, which they don't really show in these pictures. There you go. It's right there. So that electric choke is not working. I checked that there's power to it. I didn't drag an ohm meter out there to see what kind of resistance it has. I just adjusted it so that it can't close the choke anymore, which will make the car harder to start, but shouldn't be having problems driving down the road because the choke isn't opening up. There's the filter. They show this blocked right here. That's the back end of the filter, where the hole isn't. The hole is on this end. Number 5, install replacement filter element and spring with hole in filter element facing outward toward the fitting. Here I have a whole brand new carburetor for this thing, new in the box since almost 20 years ago. I'd have to dig it out. I don't know exactly where it went. But I suppose I could, if not replace the whole carburetor, which I kind of hate to do because this one mostly works, I could steal the choke off of that one. Or I've got a whole box up here of Holley parts. I think the choke is the same. I've probably got an electric choke or more than one that I could stick on there. But we'll see what happens here.